Hey guys! Oh god. Sorry. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, before I start, kind of weird. I've been feeling honestly really kind of ungenuine on my channel for a while, and so I sat down today and I was trying to look through my analytics to see if I could figure out what was the problem. I don't know if you noticed me say before, but I honestly hate shit posting. If you don't know what shit posting is, it's basically when you post something just for the sake of posting. You don't really put any thought into it. You just shit post. Because you don't put any thought into it, it's a bad post. Thus, shit post. Honestly, for a while, I had been listening too much to some people I know in person who would look at my channel, and for a long time they were complaining about things like, you know, why are you posting only a bunch of ultimate games, or if you would stop posting that like girly shit. I know it sounds dumb now, and it is, but I listened to it for a while, and I felt, honestly, I'm ashamed to say, I felt embarrassed to post a lot of ultimate games. But when I thought about it today, I honestly really enjoy playing these, and I really enjoy playing games that other girls can relate to, so I'm just not going to be ashamed anymore. So if this isn't your type of thing, doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl, that's fine, just go ahead and click away. But I am probably going to post a lot of these, and as of right now, my priority is going to finish Seduce Me 2 so that I can move on to other similar games, but this is my priority right now. So without further ado, let's jump into James. There's been a lot of questions about James. You guys really miss him. It's okay. I do too. Ah shit, which save file was he? I'm ready. I don't know for what. Diana nodded once more before turning her back to the table. She lifted her arms over the surface and lowered her head. Is this when we're opening portal? I'm a little lost. She spoke, the table began to glow. A dark purple aura began to surround her form as she lifted and arched her head back, staring at the ceiling. A glimpse at her eyes can be gasped. Warm golden orbs covered her blood-red irises. The items on the table began to gleam wildly, light orbs floating from them and dancing in the air above the table's surface. They began to weave back and forth with each other, almost as if the lights were dancing to the silent tune. The other demon stepped back as Diana moved her arms up and pointed to the dancing lights. Her finger pointed into the air, leading the lights to follow where it directed obediently. She drew a large circle in the air, and the lights followed like a perfect trail, spreading out and forming a large void in the air. As they finally stopped moving, they burst into a bright light, causing the demons and I to cover our eyes from it. It engulfed the room, but died down just as fast, revealing a small tear in the air. Diana quickly leaned forward and dug her hands into it before pulling the tear apart, revealing... Oh, okay. Now I remember. So, I'm pretty sure this is also James' part, but it's a continuing overlapping thing. If you haven't seen this yet, I'll try to narrate it quickly, but for me, this is like the 5th time I've gone through this. But basically, I see my bedroom, I'm like, oh shit, I'm going. And then Demon Lord rears his ugly head, and he's like, oh nah, you ain't about to do that. And everyone gets thrown back. We're all screaming. Diana's like really screwed up right now. We're like, why did that happen?
No, I verified everything myself.
Well, because Demon Lord magic, and
Highly doubt
explain it.
Nope.
Stop fighting! I don't like the fairy. She's very annoying. Diana's very weak. I was freaking out because I was like, I was so close.
More than simply bring her here.
What could he have done?
The Demon Lord is incapable of doing anything of the sort. His lackey imps must have done something to
We're
her.
moving along to what happened to me. I'm cursed?
She will not leave the demon world alive. He must have placed some sort of curse on her to prevent her from leaving this plane.
Explaining?
In order to leave, she'd have to die.
Naturally. What? And I'm freaking out, and I'm
Are
like,
you
how could I be
suggesting
cursed with a
barrier
barrier curse?
That would explain the red energy that sealed the tear.
What dark magic like that requires?
Blood of 1,000 demons.
He sacrificed a bunch of
He
people.
must have sacrificed
Demon
part
Lord
of his army to cast a curse on her that would
evil.
prevent her from leaving.
Ooh, surprise!
The Demon Lord is that desperate for her.
The only way to break that kind of curse is to kill the caster, the Demon Lord himself.
She's trapped here. Until this war is over.
Oh no. Oh my goodness. I'm breaking down. Why can't I go home? Oh my god. But then all of a sudden there's a bright light and we're like, what's
Something's
going
coming!
on?
Ready yourselves! It could be the Demon Lord!
Is it the Demon Lord? Oh no, but then other things happened. And I was like, what's going on? But I hear my husbandos come through the ceiling and I see them. They topple onto the table and they lay on the floor.
What the hell?
Who are they?
Careful! They could be the Demon Lord's men!
They're just his sons, nothing to worry about. Diana is still protecting me and I stare at the boys and I'm like, how could this happen? They're right there. I'm really confused. And it's my bae right here in the middle, in the flesh by James, a whole package. The one that I have wanted to be with since the beginning. Although him and Sam are a close competitor, I do like that Eric calls me princess. Damien is interesting because he's also a human. And Matthew is Matthew. Okay, moving on. I'm gonna go home. The question was how? At the sight of the boys kept the demon's attention, a second tear opened up above them, causing everyone to look up. So in every route, whoever you're not with has a wife, or like someone they would be with if they weren't with you. In my mind, all of them are my reverse harem, so I don't like any of the wives, except for Carrie. She's cool.
Whoa!
So they all show
gotcha.
up. They're scary. I don't like any of
are you okay?
the rest of these basic bitches.
I gotcha! I got
Eric!
None of them
Love,
can replace
I've
me.
got you.
Oh, and I'm pretty sure for some reason in each one, like, the girls are, like, mixed match, so I don't know. So James quickly rushes over. James! To my surprise, Diana quickly moved out the way, allowing him to approach and wrap his arms around me. The feeling of his body against mine sent a shiver up my spine. He was really here. I instantly wrapped my arms around his body, burying my face in his shoulder and taking in his scent. His head gently nuzzled into my shoulder as James curled over to bring my body close to him.
Thank God you're safe.
Oh, James, you came for me. I could barely believe it, but I did. The scent of his cologne and the texture of his clothing let me know that I wasn't dreaming. The question was, how would we both leave? James gently loosened his embrace and looked at Diana, who was standing by our side and watching. I couldn't see his expression, but Diana stared wide-eyed, almost in fear of James. Why? As James began to speak, I felt some sort of violent power change in the room. While Diana held dominance before the incubi had arrived, it was practically ripped from her as James claimed me once again in his arms.
Care to explain why my bride is here, Diana?
Your father.
I looked up at James to see him staring Diana down as if he didn't believe her explanation. I guess I'll tighten the hug. I tightened my hug around his chest.
And why have you not sent her back?
Again. Your father.
I watched as James' eyes closed further, almost hiding his whiskey-brown irises to an unimpressed and unconvinced glare.
As much as I despise my father, why do I have a hard time believing that?
Yo, dude, I'm actually cursed, okay? So, the Ceirahmoon, that guy, he's Diana's guard. I dislike him as well. I think he's extremely shady, but he goes in the middle of them. It was like James and Diana were opposing alphas, and the guard was a protective mate. They are
Believe
pretty
what
much
you will.
opposing alphas.
My lady was about to send her back before you came.
You're not part of this, Justin Bieber. James looked at the guard, but visibly sized him up. The guard glared, tightening his grip on his sphere, but remained beside his mistress. As James looked back to Diana, his hold on me tightened.
Go on.
Diana sighed softly and placed a hand on the guard's shoulder, looking at him, but the guard refused to turn himself or his spear away from me and James.
He cast a curse on your bride-to-be, barring her from leaving this world alive.
She's speaking the truth. Cursed.
A curse?
Yes. She can't leave this world unless she dies, or until we kill the Demon Lord.
I could feel James's arms tense around me. For some reason, the look in his eyes changed from anger to almost hopefulness. Was he hoping that we would be able to leave? I hope so.
Now, I must ask that you recognize whose kindness you are testing.
You're
Sarah.
not part of this. Diana tightened her hand on the guard's shoulder, almost digging her nails into his jacket. However, her eyes remained on James, now submissive to his dominant stare on her.
We have been fighting him consistently and have successfully pinned him into a corner. Our next attack will be on the Demon Lord's castle, and it will be the final battle.
Succubus, if I may.
No, you may not.
Damn, dude. The lanky man stared wide-eyed at Diana, but she ignored him. Instead, she continued to stare up at James, unfazed at her harsh tone towards her companion. James eventually released me from his embrace and faced Diana and her guard, standing tall and almost looking down his nose at them.
And when do you plan to attack him?
With a nasty snarl, the larger demon male stepped forward and glared hard at James. I felt my body tense in reflex, but James continued to stand tall.
Why the fuck should we tell you?
1 week's time.
Everyone in the room shot their head towards Diana, mostly in shock or surprise.
What? 1 week?
I looked at Diana, watching her unable to turn away from James's gaze. She wasn't in trance, but it seemed as if she wasn't able to even pull away from the gaze battle between them out of fear. That's a little weird.
Where is this number coming from, Succubus?
We need to fully
So
prepare
they start
ourselves for
arguing
the final
about
stage, which
when
I'm
they're going to
certain
face
will
the
only
Demon
take a
Lord.
couple of days.
And it ends
We've
up
pinned him
being
into a
between
corner. The
two
Demon
different
Lord
battle
will
plans.
fall.
And for some reason,
That's rather bold
they
to
asked
assume.
me to choose which one it should be.
She's right, though. We can prepare everything in that time frame, right?
And if he does the same and attacks us before then?
He won't.
I watched as Diana walked over and cleared the table of the materials they had gathered for the gate spell, revealing a physical map of the Abyssal Plains. She pointed to a spot on the map, a peninsula surrounded by water labeled as the Decaying Sea.
We'll cast a barrier spell along the edge of the peninsula and around the castle. He and his army won't be able to move from that spot until we break it ourselves, which will be during the siege.
Where would we get the energy needed for that kind of spell?
We won't be using energy.
The other rebel demons in the room suddenly tensed up, staring at Diana in surprise. What was she going to do?
My lady, you're not suggesting...
The Demon Lord has shown how far he is willing to go to win this war. It's only fitting to show the extent we'll go to in response.
As much as I agree with you, this seems a little rash.
What are you guys talking about?
Are they allowed to know?
I plan to put a barrier curse around the Demon Lord's castle and army. It's temporary, so it won't need the blood of 1,000 demons. But it will need the sacrifice of at least one demon life.
And I assume you'll be sacrificing one of my soldiers.
Is this our only option?
There are other options, but they will most likely take a lot of energy to pull off.
It just depends on what we want to do. If we want to do this immediately, then the barrier curse is indeed the best option.
I'm not opposed to performing the curse. As rash as it is, it will make our lives easier in the long run.
You expect me to hand over one of my men? My soldiers joined the rebellion to kill the Demon Lord, not to get their throats slit before even seeing the final battle?
It's wrong, but can we really afford to spend any more energy? Diana already spent a lot trying to send the human back.
What is the other option?
The rabbit woman and the fairy moved towards the map and pointed at the peninsula.
We could form tall rock walls around the castle. Box him in.
It will take a lot of our energy, but we can recover in that week period.
And what will stop the Demon Lord from tearing down the walls?
I can imbue the walls with holy magic.
How the fuck did you get holy magic? You look and smell like a demon.
The guard held up his wrapped hand, letting the beads around it jangle with a sudden motion.
I've had the ability to use holy magic ever since I was taken in by my lady's family. There's no doubt that I am a demon, but I can't recall how I gained this ability.
How is holy magic different from demon magic?
It's white magic. Unlike demon magic, holy magic isn't so finicky. Think of it as warding or dispelling magic. You can't bless air or anything that doesn't have physical form, but you can bless objects to fight back against other forms of magic.
If the walls were blessed with holy magic, the Demon Lord wouldn't be able to escape until we released him.
Why not just trap him forever?
That's idiotic. He would still be a threat regardless. Holy magic doesn't last forever. The stone will crumble eventually.
He's right. We wouldn't be able to keep the walls up forever.
Okay, so
We
like I
can't
said,
just sit around and
they start
debate this
debating,
forever.
and then for some
The
reason
longer
they
we
tell
wait, the
me to
more
do
we
it
risk him
because
striking back at us.
I'm totally
But is it
a
worth killing someone
war
to trap him?
expert.
When
Also,
we
the fact
finally
that I'm
strike,
a
we will
completely
lose
clueless
hundreds, if
human
not
has
thousands
nothing
of
to
soldiers
do
anyway.
with it.
What difference will it?
Soulless fuck.
We can still cage him in.
So basically, I'm switching back between one or the other on different parts, so it's no problem. You can just click through my other playthroughs and see which one is which, but I'm pretty much doing kind of a 50-50 where half of them are the curse and half of them are the trap. So I say for this one, we're doing the curse.
Yes. He won't be able to escape because of its dark magic.
So we're
Are
sacrificing
you sure this
someone.
is the best choice?
I don't fucking know, but you wanted to ask me.
As for your reluctance, Sir Brute, we won't be using one of your men.
Well then, who would you use?
At the moment, Diana smirked, sending a familiar shiver down my spine. For a split second, I saw a flash of gold cross her visible eyes as she replied to Matthew.
A little mongrel who had the nerve to electrocute me in my own castle.
I stared. Was there really an imp in the castle? However, my mind released the question to focus on Diana's smirk. Something was off about Diana, and I couldn't put my finger on what it was. When I came to the demon world, I'd barely recognized her and didn't expect her kindness. Now, as I was staring at her at that moment, I again recognized a woman who had attacked me in the human world. So she has like a split personality thing going on. Diana shook her head before crossing her arms and looking directly at me.
So, since you'll be here for a while, we might as well give you names that you can use to refer to everyone here.
I'll skip through this, she just starts naming everyone.
For the sake of
Sergeant, I'm a...
It's easy.
Their names will change.
you may
on
call
this
him
thing.
Ceirahmoon.
I don't care about Sarah.
Are you
Call him only if your life depends on it. Do not abuse this permission.
Define abuse.
Well, now that we have a plan and introductions are out of the way, I believe we can end this meeting. We have a lot to accomplish in 1 week.
What about us? You don't expect us to sit around.
Actually, I do. You all don't belong on the battlefield.
Wait, hold on. That's not fair.
I will not take untrained and unarmed beings into a war zone.
Then they argue and they're like, hey, we're gonna be part of this.
You expect me to trust that you can fight in a war?
Duh.
You all realize this is a war, correct? You can die here.
Not like I can leave until I die
We
anyway.
understand.
We do too, Diane.
Very well. I can't exactly keep you here like prisoners, so it will be up to you if you choose to train for battle. However, I highly suggest just staying here and allowing us to handle it.
I nodded, as did the others. Diana looked towards me and looked at my outfit,
Lumen
and
inferi.
then she changes my
Lumen
outfit to something
tabascere.
that's less in my
Serere.
wedding dress.
Wow, that's so cool.
Shut up, I didn't ask you. And then James is like,
We'll save the wedding dress for when we return.
thanks, James.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to head for the Demon Lord's castle.
Do you plan to shadow travel?
No, I have another method. Don't worry. I'll be back by morning.
I hope Diana doesn't betray us, because I actually like her.
Faye, please escort our guests to the remaining open rooms while I'm gone.
All right.
Seto.
Yes, my lady.
Sarah walked towards Diana and followed her out the room. The other demons, however, looked towards us.
I'll take you to your rooms then.
Thank
I
you.
guess so.
We truly appreciate it.
Thanks, Faye. My mind for a moment wandered to Diana and remembered what her almost evil smirk was whenever we decided to perform the curse. This was completely crazy. I was stuck in the demon world and with the man I loved, and I had to wait until the war was over to even consider going home. I held James's hand tightly as we walked towards the halls of the castle, now worried and remembering my nightmare once again. I began to feel nervous, nauseous even. There were so many things wrong about this, and there were even more things that could go wrong with this plan. Kill the demon lord? It sounded so simple, but this war had been going on for a while. Who knew this was truly the final battle? James most likely felt the nervousness in my hand as he gave it a gentle squeeze, catching my attention and breaking my thoughts.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay.
Everything will be alright. We'll get back home soon enough.
But what if you turn evil and stuff, like in my dream?
Are you worried about your nightmares?
Yes, because you had a totally underwhelming response to it. James furrowed his eyebrows slightly before releasing my hand and wrapping it beneath his arm, walking with me like a gentleman.
Whatever happens, I promise that no one will hurt you.
But what if you hurt me, James? Believing him, at least for now, it was comforting to know that he was going to protect me and help me through this. We continued down the hall, led by our guide towards a room. The others were given rooms apparently on the opposite end of the castle, while James and I claimed the ambassador's room. I began to space out, imagining what was going to happen. We would kill the demon lord, break the curse on me, go home and get married. That was the plan. But what if we couldn't kill him? What if he was more powerful than we thought? James, however, gently nudged me, catching my attention and breaking me from my thoughts.
Did you know that time works differently between the human and demon worlds?
I was pretty sure about that.
Indeed. In this world, time moves slower. What would take a day to grow in the human world would take 5 days here.
Oh, cool. So we have a lot more time than we thought.
You were gone for about 5 hours before we found you.
You only took 5 hours to find me.
When you didn't arrive at the hall, we sent everyone home and used our powers to make sure no one would be suspicious. Once everyone left, we tracked you down and came here to find you.
Oh, James. We finally arrived in our room and were left alone for the night. I sat down on the bed, feeling the exhaustion of the day take over as James examined the room carefully. He walked around the room, observing each bit of decor with curious care. Okay guys, I'm gonna go ahead and stop it here before it gets too long, but I'm excited to see what happens now that we're past the common arc of them coming into the demon world and we can finally start the freaking war. But if you like this, go ahead and leave a like. If you have any suggestions for games, leave them below. And if you'd like to, go ahead and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Just leave any comments at all also about your thoughts about the whole thing I talked about at the beginning of the video. It'd be cool to hear what you guys have to say since, you know, this is all for you. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.